Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first annual Thomasville Hall of Fame Awards ceremony. Sit back and enjoy the show.
And that's what we're here to do tonight, is to honor our athletic traditions. The groups that are going to be recognized tonight and the individuals that are going to be recognized tonight represent over 100 years of athletic excellence on the field, on the court, and on the mat here in Thomasville. So we thank you for coming out to be a part of this initial event. We are looking forward to this becoming an annual event and recognizing and continuing to celebrate the excellence that is Thomasville High School, Church Street School, and Mills Home. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our Master of Ceremonies. Our Master of Ceremonies tonight worked over 26 years at Ford Motor Company in various leadership capacities, receiving a number of prestigious awards and distinctions. He's also a highly sought-after public speaker, delivering a message of success in business and life all across the country. He's done hundreds of television appearances and is the author of 3 top-selling books in addition to dozens of articles. He's currently CEO of Epica Studios, which is a company that specializes in virtual reality games and experiences, helping to bring in over $1 million in revenue its first year. He also founded and is CEO of Daniel Bradley Matthews Incorporated, which provides strategic business and marketing consulting services, including doing the marketing and launching the career of the country star Blake Shelton. He's an avid runner, having competed in over 200 races, including the Marine Corps, Philadelphia, and Boston Marathons. He has served on the advisory board for Western Carolina University School of Business, the board of trustees of Lead Like Jesus, the board of directors of the Family Foundation Fund, and was recently named to the board of directors for the Certainty Corporation, a recognized leader in data privacy. He was also an associate producer for 2 television shows, as well as a theatrical release. He holds a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from Western Carolina University. He is also an alumnus of the North Carolina Baptist Children's Mills Home. But most important, he is a proud 1978 graduate of Thomasville High School. Ladies and gentlemen, our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Clifton Lambert.
I'm a proud bulldog, and I'm happy that my new judge friend here went to Western Carolina, and I'm excited about talking about you today too. Thank you so much for coming out. There's a lot of people that put a lot of work into developing this, and it's long overdue. As he said, there's over 100 years of performance represented today, and we couldn't get them all in, but we got the next couple of years to work on it, and we hope that you'll be a part of it. So before I forget it, because I'm kind of ADD or ADHD, they didn't have that when I was growing up, and the solution would have been the Board of Education anyway, so you know how that worked. We didn't get any medicine. But I want to tell you that you can nominate for next year, and they want you to be actively nominating people that you know did well and came through either one of the tertiary, Mills Home, or Thomasville Senior High and played athletics. We want to know about them, and we want to give them their fair shot and put them in there. We hope that we can get all of them recognized. As I was reading through these people today, and the week before, I said, you know, there's a lot of good people that came through Thomasville. And I know today, sometimes I walk around Thomasville and I don't see those kids as high as they should be. But hopefully when we get done talking about some of these people today, you'll realize that there were some really extraordinarily talented athletes that came through the schools, these school systems in Thomasville. And as I read about them, I got more and more excited. And I'm happy to see some of my friends here. I mean, I know I'm getting old when I see Harvey Ray there, recognizing his daughter. Harvey and I played ball all the way through Little League to high school. He was a great football player, basketball player too. And but thank you for taking your time. You got a lot of choices what to do with your time. Thank you for investing your time in the recognition of these people. If Tommy Bryant doesn't take the passion in his heart and the idea you had and stay with it for 3 years, there is no award ceremony tonight. committee, and I gotta tell you, we would like to have a lot more. So if you're looking for a way to join up and partner up, it don't take a lot of time, or if you know some people that are deserving, we want to hear about them, so we can get them up on the stage next year or the year after that, okay? So we're asking you all to actively be involved in the process. This is the class of 22. The class of 22, we're going to do that. When we do the class of 22, we need the applicants, if we can, by May 1st for the class of 23. And so anybody who went to Thomasville, Mills Home, or Church Street, we want to recognize you. If they were great athletes, please give us a story on them and let us do that. We're going to go through it today. As I said, when I was reading through it, I was excited to see so many people that excelled at what they did. But I want to say this. The one thing in talking with the coaches and talking with some of the people, there was a story, there was a recurring theme that came. And they would tell me a story about this athlete and say, let me tell you, when I first met this kid or this girl, this guy, these people, they were on the edge of getting in trouble. And athletics in high school and college provided them with a direction for their life. It gave them structure, it taught them how to set goals, and it taught them how to work hard. And so, if you're here tonight and you're a teacher or a coach, just raise your hand. If you've ever been a teacher or a coach, raise your hand. Look around this room. Let me tell you something. These people didn't get here without those people. And so, coaching matters. So if you were a coach, thank you for that. Most of them did it for little or no money, but their return on investment is watching the achievements of these athletes on the field, or on the mat, or on the court. And tonight we're going to celebrate those people. Okay? So we'd like to start. Let's start. We'll go through the award winners. We're going to go start with the team awards. So let's start there. The first team award is the 1947 Church Street football team, who went undefeated and won the state championship. We're going to do some of those people that played in that. They had a recurring theme. Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey, for picking those up. There's a recurring theme. Everybody that we interviewed that talked about that team said, when they hit you, you might not wake up till the next week. They said those guys showed up, man, and it got worse. And they were serious about that football game. And in 1947, they showed the state of North Carolina who was the best team in the state. And that was Church Street. Church Street High School. We were proud of it. They were from Thomasville. So give them another hand. The next team that we want to recognize is the 1936 Mills Home football team. And the 1936 team, the Mills Home, I'm going to tell you the story about this team. They didn't have enough cleats for the team, and so when they would change from offense to defense, several players had to get their cleats on before they got on the field. So it was, and guess what? They went undefeated that year and won the state championship right here in Thomasville, 1936. Let's see what's over here. They won the state championship. Many of those players went on to play college football. Some of them at D1 schools. That's a lot away from Thomasville, North Carolina. And we're going to talk about Pat Preston later, but he played at Wake Forest, Duke, and later played at Chicago Bears. And he got his own home. I want to talk about him individually. He's quite a story. So that team had a lot of personality and a lot of players. And very proud of Thomasville. The next one, some of you might remember this one, the 1964 state champions, undefeated Thomasville Bulldogs. I mean, can you imagine being from another school? You see Thomasville incredible. They won the state championship, defeated Hickory 20-13. Record, they actually lost one game. I said they were undefeated, they lost one game. And we're going to talk about some NFL players that came out of that team too. So, very accomplished team. Okay, I'm going to be excited about some of these, a little more excited because I know their stories and I read their stories, and so bear with me if you want. The next guy I'm going to tell you about was Johnny Allen. Johnny Allen was a guy that grew up at Mills Home. His dad was a police chief. He got killed in a car wreck, and he ended up with two brothers and sisters. His mom couldn't prepare for him, couldn't take care of him in Lenore, and they brought him to Neil's home. Johnny Allen went on. He's working in a department store. And the guy comes in, and he asks the guy, he's fitting for a suit. He said, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm a recruiter for pro baseball." He said, "Well, I'm a pitcher." He said, "Any good?" Johnny Allen said, "I'm the best." He had confidence. Even though he was selling clothes at a department store, he said, "I'm the best." He said, "Are you good? Really good?" He said, "I'll tell you what, let's meet after work and I'm going to show you how good I am." He showed him, signed him the next day to a Triple League contract. 3 years later, Johnny Allen is pitching in the World Series. In 1932, the New York Yankees had beaten the Dodgers 3 games in a row. The 4th game was for the sweep. And they looked to their dugout and they picked a guy from Thomasville, North Carolina, named Johnny Allen. And he was the starting pitcher in the 4th game for the New York Yankees. Let me tell you about that team, New York Yankees. It wasn't just the New York Yankees. Anybody heard of Babe Ruth? He was on the team. Anybody heard of Lou Gehrig? He was on the team. He played with the best of the best. And I'll tell you a story about that. Anybody seen the movie with Babe Ruth? You know, he meets a kid that's sick, and he says, "Son, I'm going to hit a home run for you today in the World Series." And when he gets to the bat, before he gets to the base, he gets up, points to the outfield. And he says, "I'm going to hit it right there." And then he hit it. Guess who starting pitcher was in that game? Thomasville's own Johnny Allen. 10 years in the major leagues. Incredible story. And it all started in Thomasville. Next, we're going to talk about Charlie Bowers. Charlie Bowers was all conference, all Southern Conference, East and West All-Star game, All-State, selected to the Shrine Bowl. You know what that is? He's kind of the best of North Carolina, the best of the North and South, kind of East and West of it. And he had an outstanding career at North Carolina State with both backs. So we want to recognize Charlie Bowers, class of 1966. If they couldn't be here tonight, we will make sure that their family gets the awards. Okay, the next one coming up is a coach. And if you know anything about sports, it's all about the coaches. You know what? They get the best out of you. They challenge you to do your best. They provide you a motivation to do better. And they see in you what nobody else sees in you. And Alan Brown was one of those coaches. When I travel sometimes speaking around the country, around the world, and I say I'm from Thomasville, and they'll say 2 things. They'll say, "Is that the furniture?" I said, "That was the furniture." And they'll say, "Man, I've heard you guys got a good football team." And we're going to honor 2 of the coaches, Alan Brown and George Kushwa, that helped build that reputation. So thank you, Coach Brown. I want to say something. There's a quote that says, "There's a destiny that makes us all brothers, and all that we give into the lives of others comes back into our own." This guy poured into a lot of thousands of athletes and into their life. And it wasn't just on the football field, Coach Hackney. They took it into life and into the other parts of their family life, and the world, and work life. And they were successful because of him and some of his coaches. That's it. Thank you so much, Coach Brown. Wait, Coach Brown. They're standing for you. If you had the honor to play with him, you certainly know he's bigger than life. And if you didn't give it 100%, he would give you his 100% to add to it. He was the man. And next we're going to recognize Ryan Carpenter. He played at NC State at defensive tackle, and he played defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals for 7 years. all-conference, all-state, and an incredible Cincinnati Bengal. I know. and his brother's here too. The next, we're going to talk about that other coach I told you that helped build Thomasville's dynasty, and that's Jordan Kushwaw. I met him when I was here as well. World War II paratrooper. He was a high school coach from 59 to 72. 1947 to 6, inducted into Western North Carolina's High School Activities Association Championship. His overall career record of 159, 72, and 8. Kushwaw coached both the Shrine Bowl, East and West games, and he served as the president of the 1975 North Carolina Coaches Association. He was named to the North Carolina Association of Educators Hall of Fame, and he was the stadium is the Thomasville plays in tonight. Today was named after him. Thank you. Okay, I'll tell you a story right here. Georgia lives in Michigan, and thank goodness. But one time, she was about 2 years younger than me, and I was talking to her, and Coach Kushwaw came up, and he said, "Are you trying?" And she walked off, and he said, "Are you trying to date my daughter?" I said, "No, sir, no, sir, no, sir. I was just looking for directions." Thank you, Ann. Thank you much for coming. She's a good man. Okay. Next, from Church Street High School, we're recognizing Herman Gaddings, team captain, all-conference, all-state. And they said that boy could put the lumber to you. When I talked to people about him, they said, they talked about 3 players on that team. They said when they hit you might wake up the next week. So we're excited to recognize Herman. Thank you. Next, we're going to recognize the class of 75 Woody Hancock, 5 basketball state championships. Come on, Woody. 6 regional championships. A career record of 429 and 128. That's a lot of wins to losses. That's, I'm not a math major, but that was 3 at least, maybe almost 4. So, significant accomplishment. Great job, and a great coach. Next, we're talking about Church Street High School, and it was Jerry Fox Huntley. He was class of 1964, 2-time All-Conference, 2-time All-State, and the Player of the Year in 1964. Come on now up here. Bring it away. After we talked, he said they didn't know him as Jerry, they knew him as the Fox. They said when he played basketball, he could have had a scoreboard himself. Class of 1989. Andre 1989, nominated for McDonald's All-American. 2-time All-Conference, All-County Basketball. In 1989, high jump, 6'9". And that, I think, it might be still a school record, but it certainly was a conference record and a school record at the time. And he attended Brevard College, and he also represented us in the United States Navy. Can you give it up for him? As a high jumper, I can certainly appreciate that. Next, we're going to recognize Joe Canoy. While we're recognizing as an incredible 1964 MVP for wrestling, he also was an incredible coach here. Many of you had the opportunity to see him coach as well as wrestle. But he has a record 13-0 wrestling. He never lost a match that year, so that's incredible. And he's inducted into the National Hall of Fame, and he was a wonderful coach. He helped coach track and track. In addition to his individual achievement, he's like his other coaches. He's had an incredible influence on thousands of athletes. And for that, Coach Conway, we applaud you. Next, we're going to recognize another Church Street athlete, James Kirkland. He averaged 18 points a game in basketball, not football. We got a football picture, but he was a basketball star and a good football star too. He led the team in points scored for 4 years. That's hard to do because that's 4 different classes and 4 different teams. So all districts, 2 state years. Give it up for James Kirkland. Next, we're going to talk about somebody from the class of 1942, Charles Chunny Lambert. He established, let me tell you a story about him. He goes to the principal, says, an athletic director says, we don't have a tennis team. He said, we don't have a coach. He said, I'll coach and play. And he started the first tennis team for Thomasville High School. Come on up here, you know you are. He was selected All-State twice in football and tennis, winning several tennis titles. He holds the record for the longest. You can go over there. I know it's his son, okay? It's his son, Tom Jr. He holds the Thomasville High School record for the longest kickoff return, 96 yards for a touchdown. Incredible. I know, we were in school. I have a twin brother named Charles Brett, and they would always say, is your dad a lawyer? I said, I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while, but maybe. You get a lot. We don't our track records, but he took credit for him. And I can tell you from talking to people, he was a fierce tennis player at Thomasville for the state championship. Where's Tommy Hodges? Raise your hand. There's Tommy. Tommy played in many years trying to get up for that state championship. Okay, next we're going to talk about Church Street, and this is the class of 64. You hear that class of 64 a lot. Good, really good team. And we're talking about Sammy Big Daddy Maxton. At 6'6" and 260 pounds, that year, that was a big guy. And you did not line up on the other side. He's one of those guys they said that would not lay the lumber to you. All conference and all state. Congratulations to Sammy Big Daddy Maxton. Thank you. If you look at that picture, you can tell he was serious about playing football. Okay, next we're going to talk about the class of 1967 from Thomasville High School, Danny Medley. All conference, all state, East and West Shrine Bowl, all-star, outstanding career at North Carolina State, Wolfpacks. You see a pattern there, a lot of Wolfpack guys going from Thomasville to Wolfpack. And he won a Super Bowl while playing with the Oakland Raiders. It's a long way from Thomasville to Oakland. But he took everything he learned in Thomasville and took it to the benefit of the Oakland Raiders and has a Super Bowl ring to prove it. Congratulations to him. Okay, now we're going to look at somebody from the class of 1968, Bruce Mills. He was named the All-South Piedmont Conference football team, named to the Shrine Bowl, named to the All-Atlantic Coast Conference, and the All-South team at Duke University. Now, Bruce Mills is sitting right over there. Raise your hand, Bruce. You don't. Come on, girl, come on. Granddaughter's going to come receive his award. That might be the prettiest Bruce Mills I've ever seen. Congratulations, Bruce. Thank you for being here. Next, Lamont Pigus. I'll say his name wrong. He's told me 14 times, but I will still say, reading about this guy was incredible. He rushed for 6,232 yards, and that is the highest in North Carolina history. That's good. People about him, they said he was fast. They said he was fast. He played in the Shrine Bowl, East and West, All-Star game, ranked #1 running back, and the nation's #12 running back all time. So give it that one. And guess what? It all happened in Thomasville first. So by the end of this day, I hope you hear this, the recurring theme. There's a lot of great things that happen in Thomasville. And so when you tell your people that you're from Thomasville or you know somebody from Thomasville, say it a little bit louder and a little bit prouder, because that's incredible athletes. Next, we're going to talk about another fun guy, and I'm going to tell you a story about him. This guy's named Pat Preston. Pat Preston was a decorated World War II veteran. Let me tell you a story. He signs up to play football. I'm going to get this. I'll get this in a minute. He signs up to play football at Duke University, and Uncle Sam calls him and says, "We're in a war. It's time to go." So after his freshman year, he goes to war. While he's at war, his whole platoon had got separated from the rest of the forces. They were behind enemy lines, and they asked for 2 people to go look for them. And Pat Preston and another gentleman stepped up and said, "We'll do it." They were 3.5 miles behind the enemy lines, had no communication, didn't know where they were going. Pat Preston and another gentleman, they go and find them, and they didn't have no GPS. They had to go behind the enemy lines, dodging bullets and everything else. They go and rescue that platoon. I read the stories of the people they rescued. They said, "We were for sure thought we were dead." For doing that, he was awarded the Silver Star. And that would be a story in itself. He showed up for his family. He gets his life. That would be a story. He comes back from the war, and he goes to Wake Forest. Wake Forest gives him a scholarship. He went to Wake Forest. Another DVD here we're going to talk about in a minute. He goes back to Wake Forest, and he plays football. And he is a 3-time All-American at Wake Forest. He graduates from Wake Forest, and he goes to the Chicago Bears. The coach of the Chicago Bears said he was the best lineman ever at the Chicago Bears. That's what they said. Best lineman ever. The Chicago Bears had some good linemen. Let's talk about that. He played 4 years as an NFL player, and then he came back to Wake Forest as an assistant coach, and later became the athletic director for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Incredible story, but it all started in Thomasville. Bob made this receiving, and that award will go back as well as Johnny Allen's to the Mitchell Museum over at the Baptist Children's Home. They're going to put that in the Mitchell Museum for the Baptist Children's Home. So, incredible guy. Obviously, he's a member of the Hall of Fame. Wait a minute. Hold on, girl. Cicely Ray, standout at Wake Forest University. He scored over 1,000 points. 600 rebounds. That's a lifetime. Come on up here, girl. All conference player of the year, all conference 2006, 2007, 2008, ACC. And while doing that, she was a member of the National Honor Society. So she didn't just play sport. She played sport. I gotta tell you, I'm as proud of her as Harvey Ray is, because Harvey played with me in basketball all the way from Little League to high school. He was a good football player, really good football player for the Bulldogs, and he was a great basketball player here too. And I'm sure what Coach already taught he taught her. And he's still elbowing me. Can you talk to your dad a little bit? He was an incredible athlete. See you, Harvey. He might. Next, David Sanders. All Davidson County basketball, all conference leading scorer, averaging 21 points a game. He was a quarterback in football, the church stream team, class of 1965. And he played basketball and football, so he was a two-letters athlete. And he did great at both. Come on up here. 21 points average is an incredible accomplishment. Next, we're going to talk about the class of 70, Reggie Strickland. My first team in football, all-state football, wrestling and track. He played at A&T University, wrestled. He was a track star. He was a football star. And he was one of Thomasville's greatest athletes. Thank you so much. Can I say that they have a student center named after him that's still serving children in Thomasville and athletes in Thomasville? So that not only did he play well on the field, he established a legacy in Thomasville that many people choose to follow. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about a coach from Mills Home, Jennings Withers. All THS, 3 Western North Carolina's championships, state championship, 2 district championships, 1 state championship, named all-time football team for Guilford College, and was a head coach and recreation director at Mills Home. And I can tell you, he was an incredible encourager. When you were working at Mills Home, when the people showed at Mills Home during that period of time, there were over 500 students at Mills Home. They didn't arrive there because things were going right in their life. They came there because things were. And many of those people, he took his patience and time that other coaches did, and he invested in these people. And there are a lot of incredible athletes and incredible Americans that did their country well and do their community well, and they did their family well because of this guy, James Withers. Remember me telling the story about mentioning the fact that some of the players didn't have shoes and had to swap out between offense and defense? He was the coach. Sometimes in life, I think the story that he taught me was you don't always have what you need, but you use what you have to get what you need to get done, to accomplish what you need to do until you can get what you need. He was a good example of that. He built some incredible programs and had an incredible winning legacy at that football program. So Next, 1940. Come on up, Judy. Jack Allen. His ability to punt was legendary. The stories that he would talk about, he was always coaching punters. He could punt the ball 70 yards in the air. One time they doubted him, and he went up to a player and he said, "Give me your shoes." And he was an adult by then, and he showed him he could punt the ball still. Incredible punter. He was known for his towering home runs in Finch Field, incredible baseball player. He was signed by the Oakland Raiders. He ended up on the war. And let me tell you his story, his war story. It was right after they bombed Pearl Harbor, and he's in Okinawa on a ship. The kamikazes were coming in. One hits the front of the ship. They're doomed. He gets on the gun, and he shoots down multiple kamikaze planes and saves the ship. And he was a contributor, again, a Silver Star winner, but he was contributed to saving that boat, and to read the stories of the people's lives that he impacted directly was incredible. He was an incredible man, an incredible athlete, and he served his country well as Thomasville, so give it up again. This is a special kind of guy that will jump on a gun and shoot at planes that are shooting at you. So that's just an incredible thing. And guess what? It all started in Thomasville. Okay. Next I'm going to call James Arthur Beatty, the Honorable Judge Beatty. And he's special to me because we went through some of the same path. He had his undergraduate degree at Western Carolina as well. That's a perfect time. Go ahead, go, right? Come on. He had a special role. He was the first African American at Thomasville High School. He had a bachelor's degree from Western Carolina. Go ahead, go. He got a JD from the University of North Carolina, and after that, he was nominated by President of the United States Clinton for a district judge. No higher honor. Wrestling, track, football. He participated in all. He also did his classwork, as you can tell. You don't get a JD unless you do pretty good at school. So I want to turn the podium over to him for a second, and he's going to give some remarks for all the recipients. So give him a hand before he starts.
Thank you all, and I'm glad to see everyone out tonight. It is a pleasure to be here amongst all of those who are being honored tonight. It's a pleasure to see family and friends. Having a Hall of Fame speaks to the expectation that there is hope for those who follow these individuals and teams that are being recognized today. For the young men and women who come from the areas surrounding Church Street, Newtown, Rappaport, and West End, East End, Mills Homes, and all other sections of the Thomasville community, regardless of which sides of the track they may have been on. What responsibility the men are doing today in being inclusive on the basis of diversity and outstanding athletic ability means that there is hope for those who are coming behind us. Hope that they can look beyond any artificial barriers that are directly in front of them and strive beyond any challenges or doubts as to their abilities and say yes. Because of what I'm witnessing today, that can be me on those walls at the gymnasium, or standing here in Pitch Auditorium, being recognized for my athletic abilities, as well as my contributions to the community, the state, and the nation. I'm proud to speak on behalf of myself and as an honoree and those who are being honored. Today I'm in a unique position of having a connection to the majority of those who are being honored today. I look closely, but my picture may not have been on the 1964 team, but I was there in Shelby when we played here, Ward number 43, and I recall there's a picture in the paper that day that the boosters used to come show up the game, they'd have meals after that. And there I was with Charles Cash, waiting for a second at the end of the game. That was a proud moment for me. I have a connection to that team. I have a connection to individuals like Ron Carpenter, who was there, who also wrestled. My classmate Dan Miller has been on today. And Bruce Mills, who I blocked for him, and Bruce blocked for me. That was quite an honor back in those days. And individuals like Colonel Gaddis, Sammy Massey, and even Sonny Lett. Chuck was my hero in the legal profession, as he offered me an opportunity to work with him through my law school days. Herman Gaddis was my hero. Herman is a person I admired, and I'm proud to honor him today. And I honor him today as he honored me in keeping me straight at an early age and on the right path. I often tell the story of when we were playing football in the sandlot fields at the top of Black Street beyond Church Street. And we would play well into the evening. And I also remember, as some of you may remember, the Church Street Wolverines with Little Shank and Big Shank and Wilkes twins had us playing not only here but throughout the community and other cities. I tell the story when we were playing on those fields at night. When I would stay late, the sun was going down. Everyone knew when it was time for me to go home. Because my mother would yell out at the top of her voice, over a block away, and call my name. And Herman would quietly look at me as he talked to the slow, tall man and say, "Billy, Miss Iredale calling you. You gotta go home." I knew then it was my time to leave. So as you honor today, athletes on both sides of the track, to the Booster Club, we thank you. Yes, I just happened to be the first, as Benny Phillips said back in 1964, to break the color line, provide an opportunity for the black community as well as the white community to realize that we can coexist among ourselves in a cohesive manner, notwithstanding our racial differences. Let me assure you that it was not always easy. I can also assure you that even though I was the first, there are a lot of many more outstanding athletes on the Church Street side of town that came before me and came after me when the schools had not yet combined. I made it even though it was not easy. And I made that transition to go to one of the first to go to the school and integrate the schools with the hope that one day I, like many, would follow me, would be viewed as a person or person of equal ability, that we one day would make a meaningful contribution that would be worth of the honor we're receiving today. So to you, Thomasville community, Thomasville Booster Club, Superintendent Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Lamont, Master of Ceremony, to Alton Jeffries and Tommy Bryant, who just walked me through this entire process. I thank you for all your efforts. And I speak on behalf of all employees today. With great appreciation, I say to all of you, thank you.
Okay, one thing, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, but I have 2 books, I read 2 books, and I want you all to have free copies of them. And please take as many as you like. My wife said don't bring any home. So, these are 2 books I've written, they're in the lobby, I want everybody that attends to take as many as you like. Dr. Kennedy.
Please, if you would, one more time, give a round of applause and thank you for our Master of Ceremony. And I do want to take a second to recognize our award presenter, the principal of Thomasville High School, Ms. Megan Silver. Folks, let me tell you, there is no greater friend to Thomasville athletics and respectful and representative of the traditions of this school than Ms. Sylvia. And so we thank her for her support as principal of Thomasville High School. So, growing up in eastern North Carolina, I had as my heroes coaches and athletes. I played 3 sports. My high school football coach is in the High School Athletic Hall of Fame. My high school basketball coach is in the High School Athletic Hall of Fame. These men touched my heart to begin a path that led me to where I am. First, to become a teacher and a coach myself. And then an athletic director. And I saw Coach Donnie Holt come in. He gave me the opportunity to be an athletic director. Thank you, Mr. Holt. And then to become an administrator, an assistant principal, assistant superintendent. I was set on that path, even though I am not a Hall of Fame athlete. I was set on that path by the impact of athletics, knowing the rich traditions of my school, and knowing those people. And as I've heard Clifton tell the story in so many things about the coaches that touched our athletes, and the teammates that touched our athletes. And as I walked around in here today, and I saw so many reconnections made of what all of this means. But at the end of the day, Clifton has kept coming back to this over and over and over again. If you are in this room, you are a Bulldog, you know a Bulldog, or you love a Bulldog. It all started in Thomasville. And what this Hall of Fame allows us to do is to continue the legacy of excellence and recognizing excellence on the field and on the court and on the mat and on the track, but also for those of us who are able to do things beyond our athletic abilities. The fact that we were touched by coaches. This gentleman behind me here, from Thomasville, from Mills Home, worldwide executive, television producer. Look, I got a whole page of things in Mr. Lamb. So I say these things to say that we have a saying here in Thomasville City Schools that great things happen in Thomasville every day. We celebrated over 100 years of that, and we hope it will continue for the next 100 years. So we want to thank you for being here. We want to thank you for the pride and love and care that you have shown, and for making us proud, and making those of us who are from this city and this school and Church Street and Mills Home, whether you played long ago or whether you're on a team now, when you have Thomasville across your chest, that means something. So with that, I want to thank you for coming tonight. Please, on your way out, there are refreshments, hot dogs, chips, and things on the way out, drinks. Please partake of that on your way out. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming.
Thank everyone for coming. And remember, you can take the Bulldog out of Thomasville, but you can't take Thomasville out of the Bulldog.